2024 fully electric Rolls Royce Spectre without launch control. Horsepower and torque. 584 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque from a 102 kilowatt-hour battery and 2 electric motors. So this is the first fully electric Rolls Royce you can buy. Yes, and Rolls Royce is fully transitioning to EVs. By 2030, there will be no V12s, no gas engines. And this is not an electric car first. Rolls Royce is telling us this is a Rolls Royce first, just happens to be electric, and they are 100% correct on that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this, that this is the world's greatest car, and we will give you the points as to why that is. First of all, the sound. It is so quiet in here. The quietest car, and we've driven numerous Rolls Royces. This is the quietest car we've ever been in.
Yeah, and I think the batteries work as sound deadening, and then they added more sound deadening.
Yeah, there's like 700 kilograms of sound deadening, aka through the battery below us.
And I'm gonna give a little gentle boot through cliche corner.
Dude, you can give it a good one. This thing actually rips.
Yeah. This is so weird how it's so quiet, but just rip it through.
And that sound is like a or like a Viking thing. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting sound.
So they decided to do a two-door electric Rolls Royce to start off.
Yeah, rather than like an SUV or something like that.
This is a Super Coupe, and it's the same dimensions as the Phantom Coupe from back in the day.
It's the successor to the Phantom Coupe and kind of the Wraith, because you can no longer buy the Wraith.
But this is not above the Phantom.
No.
In the hierarchy of Rolls Royces.
Yeah, Phantom is still top.
Yeah, I feel like this is too quiet.
I know.
We're too calm in here. It feels weird.
It's unnervingly quiet almost.
Is there anything you don't like about the looks? Do you like the new split headlight design?
I really like it. It's futuristic, but still completely Rolls Royce. Like, there's nothing about it that doesn't say Rolls Royce from the front end.
And if you're wondering why we're driving a pink one, it's because I got to pick my spec. Throttle House got to pick their spec. They went with gold.
Yeah.
I wanted this because I got the shoes to match. I got the shirt to match.
I let Yuri have that. I'm like, Yuri, you pick.
This color's called Morganite.
Yes.
And it's based off some crystals.
Yeah, something like that.
It is very, very cool. Hard for it to pop in all lights because it's not metallic-y, but it looks so nice. And then we got a nice white interior in here with a lot of like maroon, burgundy, purplish, especially like on the dash. It matches the steering wheel and the side view mirror, and then also the trunk. It's got that nice fabric that's on the floor and on the carpets. It looks like something out of the 70s.
Yeah.
But in a high quality, fancy, good way.
Exactly. This is a very interesting spec. Not the one that I would purchase, but I completely understand why Yuri picked this one.
And then we've got really nice, probably the nicest floor mats of all time in here.
I mean, a set of tux mat would be nice. If you want to make your car into a Rolls Royce, go to tuxmat.com/the straight pipes to see what they have for your car.
I don't know how to best describe the pumped-in sound, so I'm going to floor it, and whoever has the best comment describing it will get pinned.
I'm going Yoga Viking.
Whooshing Viking? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not offensive, and you can easily turn it off. Here, let me... Oh, that's pretty cool with it off.
Nothing.
Okay. The weirdest part about this car, or it's also the best part of this car, it's an experience that you can't get from any other car ever.
Nope.
And that's why it's the coolest. Like, there's some odd stuff. Like, you're so floaty, but nothing else feels like that. It's so quiet, but nothing else on the road is this quiet, especially combined with the speed handling and comfort.
Yeah, so the comfort, the ride quality is unparalleled. So the Ghost already had that suspension for the suspension, but this apparently is like 30% stiffer. It's, I think, the stiffest Rolls Royce they've ever made because of the battery, and it was integrated into the architecture from the architecture of luxury. It was always meant to have both an ICE powertrain and a battery. So this is like extremely floaty, and they didn't need the suspension for the suspension on the upper control arm, or the upper whatever part of the suspension. It's insanely comfortable.
Okay, back to the looks. Do you love how there's no B-pillars?
Oh yeah, it's the best part.
With all the windows down, this looks absolutely amazing. And then we do not have the two-tone version. There are a bunch of two-tone versions, and they design every Rolls Royce to have a two-tone version.
And these wheels are also pretty sick. They're like not electric-y at all. Nothing about this says electric from the exterior.
Yeah, the wheels are great. And what would be the Continental recommended tire for a Rolls Royce?
The Conti Sport Contact 5 would be the one that we had on the Phantom when we drove that earlier this year.
And then moving on to the rear, no exhaust tips because it's electric. We should probably
listen to it from the outside.
A little spooky.
Yeah.
Every electric car is a little spooky. And then the last thing besides the Spirit of Ecstasy, which pops in and out, which is very cool, and now also more aerodynamic.
Yes, the most aerodynamic Spirit of Ecstasy they've ever made.
Well, I guess not the last thing. I want to talk about the taillights, how they pop out. That's pretty cool. They're small. I don't mind them. They're pretty nice. And then how about the grille?
Yeah, the grille is the widest one they've ever put on a Rolls Royce, and the slats are kind of at angles, so depending on where you're standing, different things are being reflected. It's pretty interesting.
All right, Steppenwolf, your turn to drive. Do you understand that reference?
No.
Magic carpet ride.
Ah, got me. Because the ride is called that. Okay.
All right, so it turns out you need to walk in front of the car to switch drivers.
And hands-free, using my foot to close that door.
I'm going to pull this little button here.
And the car is now off, which you can barely tell when this thing is running. And it actually says start engine to turn it on, even though we don't have an engine. And Rolls-Royce purposely did that so that people wouldn't be confused by a motor or something like that.
They did so much stuff to keep this normal car.
Yes.
And I appreciate it more than all the other companies screwing stuff up.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know if I'm going to floor this car.
You are
but I
gonna
will. Oh, my God. Let's get that sound back on.
Why isn't it mind-meltingly fast like a Tesla where I get a concussion?
Well, because they specifically tuned this to feel like the V12, which makes complete sense. And that is what I want from all these companies, because every company's going to have to figure out a way to differentiate themselves once they have these EV powertrains. Obviously, Rolls-Royce went for the extremely luxurious, not neck-jarring version of that.
Yeah, and I love it. And I've always told you, I'm like, why can't an electric car company program the exact speed of like in shift points that a Camaro would do back in the day, or like an 80s Camaro or like a Mustang? And they are programming their electric to feel a lot like a V12.
Yeah, and then if you roll into the throttle, that's when it really feels like almost a traditional gas engine. When you mat it, that's when it actually gives you the instant torque. So I'll floor it once we get straight here. But it's still so smooth.
But it's not nauseating in any way compared to a lot of electric cars.
Although I was a little bit nauseous when I got in here because it was so quiet and so comfortable. I've never experienced anything like this.
Yeah, but that's like, it takes a second and then it's like, wow, this is so relaxed.
So let's get into the secondary part of this car. It is an EV. It does have a range, 260 miles.
Nice.
Which is, who cares? Because I'm going to be honest. Nobody is going to charge one of these publicly. Everybody's got a butler. Everybody's got the charging station at home or whatever it is. The person that owns